Okay, so hi, Pierpaolo, and first of all, I'd like to wish you happy Labor Day. So I decided to wear a red shirt to celebrate a little, and also because red is the color of desire. So it's my pleasure to take you into a little journey inside the world of desire and how it can unstuck us in life. So I would like to start with, I need to share my screen first of all. Let me see here. I would like to start with a poem. Okay, I hope you can see. So this poem is an Italian poem. It's probably the most famous poem, the second most famous poem of the Italian literature after the Divine Comedy. And it's called The Infinity by Giacomo Leopardi. So we start reading because we're getting through our point. So this lonely hill was always dear to me, and this hedgerow. So if you read the first lines, we have a situation where the poet is next to his house on a hill, is looking at the horizon, but there's a hedgerow that cuts the view, okay? But for a second, he can abstract and imagine the infinity. So that's where the title of the poem comes. And in that world, beyond the hedgerow, he finds absolute peace, and also a place where he's got some fear, where fear starts, because I can see beyond, in my mind's eye, unending spaces and superhuman silences, etc., and till what I feel is almost fear. So, but what's the metaphor behind the hedgerow? Is the situation where someone is stuck, you know? When someone is stuck, there's something that prevents him from seeing beyond the horizon line, okay? So when someone is stuck in life, it's because he cannot see opportunities, okay? So today we talk about desire as a way to broaden someone's horizons. So let's go on. A second. Oh, there we are. Okay. First of all, we have to do some philological work and consider the difference between consider and desire. I put the Italian words because it's easier to understand that they are absolutely opposite terms. So in Italian, consider is considerare, desire is desiderare. We work through the etymology. Consider, the etymology is cum sidera from Latin, and sidera are stars. Desire, desidera, same. Latin people, Romans, they had like a passion for astrology. Like this is not about astrology, but we have to draw some background of our history. And they had a passion for astrology, and they thought that everything that happened was written there. And the word consider, if you think about it, cum sidera, with the stars, means exactly that. So you follow the path that the stars wrote to you, okay? That's consider. Consider your options. Consider the options that life gave you and choose, okay? Desire is something different. It's something that takes you beyond these options, because you get out of the path that the stars wrote to you and you start building your own path. So, for example, let's take a choice. If you just consider, you are seeing life as a supermarket. Like you're going through the aisles and you just make choices. I want this, I want that. You want to go left or right, but a choice is something that it's helpful to you just to create another alternative. Like creative people, that's what they do. Like if they have to choose between left or right, they go up. If you have to choose between apples or pears, they want bananas. And that's where desire takes you, outside of choice. There's a famous song, it's called Mrs. Robinson. There's this line which is, when you've got to choose, every way you look at it, you lose, which is basically true, because choosing between alternatives that are given to you are, it's not creating your own way that makes you, that fulfills you. It's just choosing what society made for you. That's the best way to get stuck. Desire. You want more than what the choice offers you, of course. But why people do not desire? Because desire gives you problems, okay? The etymology of problems might not be known, but it comes from Greek, and pro-balein. So it means throw forward, okay? A problem is something that puts you forward because you have to overcome the problem. So you have to go beyond. So a problem is something that push you, okay? Same. When you desire something, when you want something, you have to make a project. And same in Latin, the etymology of project is projectum, something that's being thrown forward, okay? And that's exactly the same. Benjamin Franklin said, if you could get half of the things you want, you'd have twice as many problems as you already have. Okay, which is actually true. Desire something means accepting the troubles that will come with your desire. Okay, if you desire something, you leave your path, the path that the stars made for you, and you go into an unknown place. So you start facing troubles, but that's where you grow. Okay, not only if you start to get what you desire, but also if you start to wait until you get it, you have to fight against all your limitations and mistakes, and against everything that your limitation and mistakes have made you so far. Okay, the person you are that kind of person because your boundaries made that person. Because if you had broadened boundaries, you would be another person. Okay, you would be maybe a bigger person, and that's where I'd like to try and take you. Okay, so what are the limits? First of all, it's fear. Okay, you may have basic fears like fear of heights, and that's normal. Like that's it's some sort of healthy fears because it prevents you from danger. Fear of heights is what you might experience if you skydive. I don't know if you ever done it, but that might be. But the thing is that if you ever did skydiving, you do not experience the fear of heights because as soon as you get in the plane, adrenaline for getting beyond your boundaries is so strong that you don't feel like the fear of heights. What you feel if you don't try to do something that you would like to do is the fear of fear, okay? The fear to be scared. So is that fear that makes you think, okay, I'm just gonna watch this thing in a video. But even worse, there's the fear of fear of fear of heights. For example, I don't even consider that opportunity because even the idea of just thinking about it scares me so much that I don't even want to like getting in that field. Okay, and the fear that people who are stuck in life they have is the fear of emptiness of future. So the reason why they don't even try to look at what they could do is because they have fear of emptiness of future. Okay, And the second limit is guilt. Guilt comes from the thought, I do not deserve, okay? But we need to consider that there is no such thing as merit in life. For example, a tree doesn't deserve to, to live, a cloud doesn't deserve a hawk, a virus doesn't deserve, I don't know, like COVID-19, if it did something to be so popular. I don't think so. Neither do you, because um, to deserve means to receive something that is due, but the universe owes you nothing, and it owes nothing to any living person. So it's not like you need to deserve something to do it. You just have to do it. That's the thing. Let's go on. Some definition of desire, and then we go um, to the technique. Desire is to ask permission from yourself. It's to make a wish. You have to give yourself permission to think, take it seriously, and make a request. If you feel guilty, you won't get that permission. The expression of a wish and the waiting for it to come true leads to an increase in stress, but nothing exhausts as much as feeling wrong. Like if you feel wrong, you cannot desire, because the more you desire, the more stress you will feel, and if you feel guilty, you will not be able to bear that sort of stress. The amount of psychic energy that the guilt depresses and consumes make a further increase in stress seem unbearable. So um, you think you cannot take more. The most important permission one must give oneself is the permission to fail, to make mistakes. So, if you want to live the path that the stars wrote for you, you need to accept the idea that you will fail sooner or later. Whether in one thing or in any other idea or your psychic activities, the only way to grow is to take risk. That's of course. If you let the fear of making mistakes enter your mind, it will not take long before you become afraid to do anything. Like if fears goes inside your mind, you will be afraid of just getting up from bed. And depressed people are exactly that thing. Learning to desire means learning to ask amazing things with the very likely risk of making just, if you ask for amazing thing, you will do amazing mistakes. It's very probable, but that's absolutely normal. You will do very big mistakes, and we will see that if you don't ask yourself, does this desire of mine give me joy? Like people, one reason why people, they don't achieve what they want in life is just because they ask for something that they don't want. They are stuck with someone else's desires. And then we'll see. If you just desire, you only get melancholy, of course. You just wish something to happen, but you need to put will inside of it, okay? Because if you just desire, you don't go anywhere. You must learn what answer to your to give to your will when it awakens, because as we probably know, our will is not working all day. Like sometimes it sleeps, but sometimes we got that energy, like that we want something, and when we got that energy, we need to know what to reply to that energy. And now we go to the technique. Okay, to practice this desire technique, you need two notebooks, one for fair copy and one for draft. So it's very easy. You don't need to buy expensive equipment. Okay, now there are all these rules. On your draft notebook, you will write 150 desires according to these rules. And writing 150 desires might take you 1 year. You might start, if you want to give it a try, today and write maybe 10 or 15, and then you get stuck, and it's going to be a process of discovery of what you really want. So rules of these techniques are: all desires begins with I want, okay? because it's not something you wish, it's something you want. You have to put will inside of it. You don't have to use denials because the subconscious doesn't understand it, doesn't work with denials, doesn't understand denials. Like animal communication. When animals communicate to each other, they don't to give each other's the to tell I'm not gonna bite you. They bite each other's. They bite each other's, but without hurting each other's, and that's their communication. I'm not gonna hurt you. I do it by attacking you. The same, like our subconscious doesn't understand denial. So a desire cannot be I don't want to get ill, because you will get ill that way. Don't think that in your life. Think I want to be healthy. That's the way. Don't use words that are denials, like for example unharmed. Number 3, we have a maximum of 14 words per desires, and commas count as one word. That's because you have to pronounce all your desire in just one blow, and 14 words is a fair amount. 4, don't ask for love or sex stories with specific people, especially if you don't know them, because because they might not be the people you think they are. So you don't want to get trouble with other people without knowing them. Even sex with specific people, like if you just want to have sex desire, I want to have sex twice a week, write it down on your notebook. Don't compare, of course. Don't say I want to be like, I don't know, some famous people or some friend of yours, because you would take all the good side of them, also their bad sides, and you don't know what kind of neuroses people have, other people have. So just desire what you want. Don't. This is one of the most important thing. Like, don't compare. Okay, and of course, thou shalt not covet your neighbor's desire. And this is the 10th commandment of the Bible, which is uh, normally is translated, thou shalt not covet your neighbor's good, but for some philologists, that's the wrong translation. What the Bible says, which is quite interesting, is thou shalt not covet your neighbor's desires. Don't copy the desire of other people, which sounds pretty fair to be in a holy book, because it's not like you don't have to wish what they have. It's you don't have to wish what they wish. You have to wish what you wish. Okay? If you desire what they desire, you get envy. Okay? Some etymology. Again, envy comes from Latin invidere, that goes to invidia in Latin and Italian, which becomes envie in Old French and envy in English. And the meaning is to look askew. So envy is just not looking straight, is looking in the wrong direction. That's the meaning. And that happens if you don't stick with your own desire and wishes. Rule number 7, no serial desires. For example, if you desire a flat in Berlin, don't write, I want a flat in Berlin, I want a flat in Moscow, I want a flat in San Francisco, because that way you should open a real estate agency. Number 8, don't ask for money, of course, because money are, first of all, are abstract and you need to desire concrete stuff. And money are a means to do something, not an end. So desire big things, but not specifically money. If you desire something big, and of course you will need money to that, you will start thinking about how can I get the money to do that thing. But don't ask for money, because money by themselves are just useless. Don't ask for other people. Don't ask, I want that person to be healthy, but you can ask to do something for others. I want to do whatever I can for that person to be healthy. In that case, you take responsibility of your own desire. You cannot desire something for someone else. And the last one, avoid amenities. Like, don't say I don't want a little house. You might find like a house like this big as a toy. Okay. Once you've done with your 150 desires, you're finished with your first draft. You have to choose 101 desire and copy them on your fake copy, like leaving some space. So for example, in one page, you just write 3, for example, because when one comes through, you write another one from the 49 that you have discharged. Then you have to read all your desires once a day in the morning for 1 year, 365 days. It takes just 5 to 6 minutes. You go to the restroom and you read all your list. So these techniques helps you also to make comic. I don't know, comic is a concept that comes from psychology. Is the idea of being amazed with the things that surrounds us. Okay, to get surprised. Okay, and being amazed of something is the opposite of being scared. The opposite of fear is not courage, is being amazed. Okay. We have to force our amazement if that's dead. Okay, sometimes it doesn't work. Like we are dull. We look at things and we lost the ability that kids have to get surprised of everything. And so the way we need to restart that is by calling things by name, okay, and ask ourselves whether or not we desire the things. So start noticing things around you. Oh, what's that? Oh, the palm tree. Oh, do I want a palm tree? Maybe I want a palm tree. Why I want a palm tree? Because I want a house. I want to live in a house next to the beach, maybe. Okay, that might be a way, and then you will start looking at the world. Okay. In this way, you can see things that previously went unnoticed or that before were not seen for what they are. Okay. A tip, if you want to try to do this technique, enter absurd wishes. Like sometimes we have wishes that are completely crazy and that doesn't fit with the person we are. Just write them. Might be a key for another world. So we are already disobeying to the stars by desiring. We are already going out of the path that the stars wrote for us. Disobeying disobedience, like desire something which sounds absurd. Get happy, like happy and happen. We have the same etymology. So get happy by making something happen. And I tried this. I wouldn't be here. I tried this technique which I learned from philosopher, Italian philosopher, and philologist, and it actually works. And another thing you have to do is after 1 year that you read all your desires every day in the morning, when after 1 year you have to burn everything and start asking yourself why certain desires didn't work. You find interesting answers. So I spoke for quite a lot. I just ask you if you have any question. Sorry. Oh, quite a lot of people. Yeah, I should have spoken like for way slower than this for to explain the whole stories, but that's the time I had. Might have sounded a little bit confusing, but if you have questions and if you want to give it a try or whatever, otherwise I would just thank you. No, Robin, actually it's not even my technique. As I told you, I took it from an Italian philosopher who's called Igor Sibaldi, and unfortunately is not translated unfortunately is not translated in English. Okay. So I can give you my email, and I can we can chat, and I can explain everything to you in details. Some example that worked for me, like I wanted to be more, let's say, confident. I said, I want to perform in front of a lot of people, okay? And stuff that happened was I've become a performer inside one of the 10th biggest outdoor theater festival in Europe, which is in Italy. Like, and it was, I have only 4 minutes, so long story short, a sort of random chances that I become a performer in this opening play of the festival, where we were also all naked. And well, there was another thing that was pretty strange. I worked for the last 2 years now. I'm not doing anymore in prison as a teacher for prisoners. And one of my desires was I want to start path in what's called in English. Wait me a second. It's not naturopathy. Is bioenergy. I don't know if that's the correct word in English. And the day after I started, I spoke with a new person in prison, and he told me he was a bioenergist. So I found someone the day after, and sometimes like things, they just come through in a very, very, very like casual way. And another great thing, that the book that I really suggest you can find that one in English, is The Dance of Reality by Alejandro Jodorowsky. I really suggest everyone to give it a read, because that says that if you start dancing with reality, if you trust reality, and if you start dancing, you're not afraid of falling, reality will just keep you up and make you dance with her, and you will be amazed by the opportunities that will just pop up when you stop being afraid of getting broke or getting sick or whatever fear you have. 2 more minutes. You have any more questions? Otherwise, I just thank you for your time and attention. I was happy to be here. Okay, so I just disconnect, and I'll tell my email. I'll write my email here if you want to. If you just want to give a try to this technique, just write me an email and I'll give you some tips. And that's it.